ready to get down to business? Join seasoned entrepreneur, community leader, and Army veteran Scott Shalom Klein, who will take you behind the scenes with those who work in America's small business scene and speak with leaders making an impact, creating jobs, and telling their story in entrepreneurship. So let's get down to business. On AM 560, The Answer, here's your host, Shalom Klein.
And indeed, we're all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts on my website at syklein.com. And while you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. So let's jump right in with the foundation of Little Village, a Chicago-based nonprofit dedicated to fostering prosperity, preserving culture, and revitalizing the Little Village community. And I'm thrilled to be joined by the founding executive director. That's Kim Close. Kim, welcome to the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Shalom.
Absolutely. No, really appreciate you coming on. I'd love to learn a little bit more about you and, of course, the organization. And I understand you've got some pretty big announcements. But Kim, let's start in the very beginning. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to dedicate your career to the foundation of Little Village.
Yeah, so I started working in Little Village in 2018. Actually, originally, I was a grant writer. I was writing grants trying to get increased investment in the community, and that led to the formation of the 501c3, known as the Foundation of Little Village, and also the creation of a bigger project that we have known as Esquina Incubator and Cafe, which is a development project here on 26th Street. So that's kind of how the work got started. Our mission is to support and encourage business growth through entrepreneurial opportunities and to impact the wellness of the residents here. So what we're really trying to do is build community wealth through entrepreneurism that's already active and happening here on the corridor. The Latino population of Chicago and the United States is widely known for having the highest number of small business starts. It's a highly entrepreneurial community throughout the nation, and we're here, but they haven't always received the same supports for their business or supports that are catered to the needs specific to the community and to the challenges that they're facing to start a small business. So that's really our objective, is to provide those resources in Spanish and also in a place-based in the community, like have a place-based entrepreneurial ecosystem.
Absolutely. I'm chatting with the executive director of the Foundation of Little Village. That's Kim Close. And Kim, the work that you are doing, so impressive. You've got a lot of different grants, funds, that's really driving a lot of these programs that you've been talking about, which is great. And I know a lot of this is based on that experience that you've had. You've been a small business owner yourself, an experience that has taught you about the challenges and rewards of entrepreneurship. So I understand that there's some pretty big news coming up. You've got a new program, and you're running this both in Spanish as well as in English. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we have a program, we have entrepreneurial programming. It's called Juntos Lanzamos. That's the ideation and, how to start a small business class. It's 8 weeks long. It covers how to get a business license, financial literacy, marketing, like creating a network of other like-minded entrepreneurs. Those are some of the objectives of the class. So we were running that program. Our signature program that we started with was called Juntos Emprendemos. It was for the businesses that were already established on the corridor. That's more of a how to get your business to grow, right? But then during the pandemic, we started running Juntos Lanzamos because people were pursuing entrepreneurism during the pandemic because they might have been like furloughed or something. They were just, I want to start a business during the pandemic, during 2020. So that's where Juntos Lanzamos originated. It means together we launch. And then, but over the years, one of the things that would come up over and over again is Little Village is a very, very young community, and the youth of Little Village, by youth, I mean people like between the ages of like 18 and the younger people in Little Village, like they're highly entrepreneurial. They're pursuing all different routes of entrepreneurism, selling things in TikTok and Poshmark and Etsy, and they're creative and they're doing all these entrepreneurial activities, but they might feel more comfortable being like born and raised here. They might be bilingual, but they were sometimes felt more comfortable learning in English. They're educated here in the United States in Chicago public schools, and like they wanted to take these courses, but they were more comfortable learning in English than in Spanish. It's why we started all of our programming in Spanish, because a big part of the population of Little Village is monolingual Spanish speakers. So we wanted to provide that programming and those services in Spanish because they can't go other places and get access to that. But then little by little, we saw the opposite come to fruition, that the youth of Little Village, they wanted access to that programming too. The unique thing about our Juntos programming, and there's 3 levels: Juntos Lanzamos, Juntos Emprendemos, and Juntos Avanzamos, is that this is original Spanish language content. It's not written in English and translated into Spanish. It was written in Spanish for the community of Little Village and for Spanish speakers, so it's culturally relevant and it is specific to the neighborhood.
Fantastic. I mean, the work you're doing is amazing, and I know what our listeners love. They love to hear real stories of impact. And so you mentioned about entrepreneurship. You mentioned the Latino community, Little Village. And I know you've been doing this for a little while. So, um, feel free to share either with names, without names, but any of those success stories of folks that have come through any of the programs that the foundation has been involved in that you want to show off and highlight on the program today.
Yeah, one of the businesses that we helped, the business name is JT. She has an embroidery shop. So she took Juntos Lanzamos, and then after a while, she also took our Juntos Avanzamos program, which is a micro granting program, and she used that $3,000 micro grant to invest in an embroidery machine because she was doing screen printing, and then she was able to like service more people through embroidery. I've actually like purchased from her myself. And so that the purchase of that machine, that's one of the goals of Juntos Avanzamos, is to teach entrepreneurs how to invest in their business in order to increase the return on investment, how to make financial decisions to grow their business, right? So that's the goal of the third course, Juntos Avanzamos. It's a financial literacy program. So she was able, with that investment, with that micro grant, she was able to like expand the number of products that she offered, and also increase the number of people who were like purchasing products from her. A related story is a great company called Nice and Clean, and they took Juntos Emprendemos and Juntos Avanzamos, and they were able to grow their business. They were doing residential cleaning, and then but over the years they were able to transition from doing residential into commercial cleaning and also hire new employees. They did take the Avanzamos program. I think during the pandemic, I think they took it in 2021, and they used that investment to buy like special cleanings, I'm not a cleaning like expert, special cleaning products that were like relevant during the pandemic, so, and that helped them like increase, like increase the number of services they were offering, and also like move into a commercial market, which is more profitable for them.
Well, we so appreciate you highlighting that and all of the important work that you're doing across the community at large, and really make an impact at the foundation of Little Village. We've been chatting with, again, Executive Director Kim Close, and really appreciate you sharing your expertise. I know our listeners will want to learn more about your work and, of course, find ways to support. How can they get in touch with you and your team, Kim?
Yeah, so they can visit us at www.flvchicago.org. And our phone number is 773-621-8245. And they can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn. We're there. Yeah, our programming we offer at no cost to the community. Yeah, all of this is supported by our philanthropic partners.
Mhm.
And yeah, we're proud to, support the community of Little Village and the
Fantastic.
residents that make Little Village a thriving commercial corridor.
Awesome. Kim Close, really appreciate you coming on. A quick break here and get down to business. We'll be right back.